So today's keyword is basically, I would say, independence, I would say. So just making you imagine, because our phone is like part and parcel of our life nowadays. Too much dependence on it. And let's assume your phone hasn't buzzed in 3 hours. No messages, no calls. And now you begin to feel anxious. Kya ho gaya? Something wrong. As if people have forgotten you. Or let's say someone gives you critical feedback and your entire day, maybe your entire week crumbles. You replay the conversation 100 times. You can't eat properly. You can't sleep. Your mood is hijacked by one person's opinion. Well, let's say you made some decision, a good one, a right decision, but still you can't feel settled until you have checked with 5 people: your mother, your friend, your partner, your colleague, your cousin. You need their approval before you can trust your own judgment. So, what's happening in all these moments? Why does our emotional weather change based on someone else's words, availability, or validation? So, today we are actually going to talk about something that might be the most important skill you never learned in school: becoming emotionally independent. Yes. So let's clear a massive misconception first, that emotional dependence doesn't mean isolation, right? It doesn't mean you don't need people, don't love people, or don't care what people think. It means your emotional stability doesn't depend on them. And there's a huge difference. Think about it like this: a tree with deep roots can enjoy the rain, bend with the wind, and even lean towards the sun. But it doesn't fall over when the weather changes. That's emotional independence. You can be affected by others without being dependent on them for your sense of self. But here's what we actually do: we outsource our emotional stability. Let's say Priya, we usually talk about her a lot in our sessions. So her sense of peace depends on whether her husband is in a good mood when he comes home. If he's stressed, she becomes anxious. If he's happy, she relaxes. Her emotional thermostat is in his hands. Then let's talk about Neha. Her self worth fluctuates based on Instagram likes. 50 likes, good day. 10 likes, must be something wrong with me. So her confidence is being calculated by strangers' thumbs. And then Ritu, she can't even make small decisions without consensus. Should she take that course? Oh, let me ask everyone. Should she say no to that commitment? Let me check if it's okay with everyone first. Or she's waiting for external permission to trust herself. And here's the really insidious part: we've been trained this way. And especially as women in Indian culture, we are taught that being needed is love, that sacrifice is virtue, that our feelings should be secondary, that checking with everyone before deciding anything is being considerate. And the shocking part is that we are not only checking with our spouse or with our in laws or with our parents, the elder, we are even checking with our kids. So we are like dependent even on the opinions of our kids who are much less experienced than us. So we grow up emotionally dependent without even knowing it. We become experts at reading everyone else's emotional temperature while ignoring our own. And we know exactly how to soothe others, but have no idea how to soothe ourselves. So, what does emotional independence actually look like? So, let me tell you, it rests on three pillars. First, self soothing. So, this is your ability to calm yourself down when you're upset without needing someone else to do it for you. Let me give you an example. Anjali, she has a terrible day at work. Her boss criticized her presentation. Old Anjali would immediately call her best friend, vent for an hour, need reassurance, need validation, need someone to tell her she's not a failure. But the new Anjali, she feels that sting. She acknowledges it hurts. She takes a walk. She journals about it. She reminds herself of past success. She processes the useful feedback and discards the rest. She doesn't need someone else to regulate her emotions for her. She can still talk to her friend later, but from a place of sharing, not desperation. That is self soothing. Number two, the second pillar, self validation. This is your ability to trust your own perceptions, feelings, and experiences without needing constant external confirmation. Let's talk about Kavita. She feels uncomfortable with how her colleague speaks to her, slightly condescending, subtly dismissive. But when she mentions it, people say, "Oh, he's just like that. Don't be so sensitive." So she doubts herself. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it's my problem. So emotional independence means saying, my feelings are valid data. If I feel disrespected, that's real. I don't need everyone to agree with me to trust what I'm experiencing. And it is the difference between I think I'm good at this versus am I good at this? Someone please tell me I'm good at this. And third, self trust. This is your ability to make decisions based your own values, wisdom, intuition, not by committee, your own. Let's say Meera wants to change careers. Emotionally dependent Meera asks 10 people, gets conflicting advice, becomes paralyzed, and either doesn't move or moves based on who was the loudest voice. So, emotionally independent Meera gathers information, considers different perspectives, but ultimately asks self, what do I want? What feels right for me? She makes the decision, owns it, and deals with the consequences, good or bad, without blaming others or needing their validation afterward. Like we say, as an old saying, suno sabki, karo man ki. That should, that confidence should be there. That is emotionally independent person. So now here's where it gets nuanced, and this is important. You can love deeply without losing yourself. Emotional independence doesn't mean you don't care about your partner's opinion. It means your peace doesn't hinge on their approval. It doesn't mean you don't value your family's input. It means you can hear their concerns without betraying your own knowing. It doesn't mean you don't need connection. It means you don't need constant reassurances to feel okay. And I love this one, this distinction. Healthy relationships are about interdependence, not dependence. And that is one big thing we need to understand. You can lean on each other without collapsing on each other. You can support each other without being responsible for each other's emotional state. Think about the strongest, healthiest couples of friendships you know. They are not people who need each other to function. They are people who choose each other from a place of wholeness, not from a place of filling a void. And here's the paradox that might surprise you: inner stability actually creates healthier relationships. Let me repeat that. Inner stability actually creates healthier relationships. When you are emotionally independent, you stop being manipulative because you're not trying to control someone's mood to manage your own anxiety. You stop being resentful because you're not giving more than you have in the hopes of earning validation. You stop being clingy because you're not terrified of being alone with yourself. You become someone who can show up fully in relationships without losing yourself. You can be present without being possessive. You can be loving without being lost. So, how do you build this? Because I'll be honest, if you've been emotionally dependent your whole life, this is a practice, not a destination. So, start by noticing when you feel emotionally triggered, anxious, hurt, angry, unsettled. Just take a pause for a moment and ask yourself, what do I need right now? Not who can fix this for me, not who can make me feel better, but what do I need? Maybe you need to cry. Even crying is an emotion. It is not a weakness. Let me tell you that. Maybe you need to move your body. Maybe you need to write it out. Maybe you need to take 5 deep breaths. Or maybe you need to remind yourself of something true about yourself. It can be anything. Just notice those things about your own self. It's also a beautiful way and a simple way of knowing yourself. The second, meet that need yourself first. Before you reach for your phone, before you need someone else to rescue you from your own feelings. And here's what will happen, the first few times it'll feel strange, uncomfortable, like something is missing. And that's normal. You'll you're retraining your neural pathways that have been running on autopilot for years. But slowly, something shifts. You realize you're more resilient than you thought. You realize you can handle your own emotional weather. You realize you don't need someone else to tell you you are okay. Why? Because you can tell yourself. And from that place of inner stability, you build a life that's truly yours, not a life spent managing other people's opinions, not a life spent seeking constant reassurance, but a life built on your own foundation. And here is what I want you to remember: emotional independence is learning to stand strong without leaning on approval. Let me say that again. Emotional independence is learning to stand strong without leaning on approval. It doesn't make you cold, it makes you free. It doesn't make you alone, it makes you whole. It doesn't mean you don't need people, it means you don't need to need them. So when you choose them, it's a choice, not a survival strategy. The most powerful thing you can do is become someone you don't need to escape from, someone you can sit with in silence, someone you can trust, someone who's there for you always. And that someone, That someone should be you. Be comfortable with your own self. So today I want you to practice this. When you feel emotionally triggered, and you will, that's life. We all do. Pause before you reach for external validation. Ask yourself, what do I need right now? Then meet that need yourself first. Maybe it's reassurance. Give it to yourself. I'm doing my best. That's enough. Maybe it's clarity. Give it to yourself. I trust what I'm feeling. My perception matters. Maybe it's comfort. Again, give it to yourself. This is hard and I can handle hard things. Do this once today. Then do it again tomorrow and watch how your relationship with yourself and everyone else, of course, begins to transform because you are your own home. So let's make it a safe one. So, with that thought, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you.